welcome back to BS Movie Reviews, Part 3 of Dead Alive.
Hello. And, we
Dedicated to our lovely Kristen Sears.
Yes, lovely. Simply marvelous, yes.
Oh, can you see the heart?
Okay, so we gotta get through this movie fast here. So, we're gonna just tell you that his mom ends up going basically to the grave. He goes to dig her up.
Yeah, they bury her, they have a service. This is where we meet the priest, Father Maxey.
Who is one of my favorite characters. His name's not Father Maxey.
No, it's not. I really like that Father Maxey.
Yeah, but he apparently kicks ass for the Lord.
Yes, I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah, it was a really funny part. If you get to see the movie, you'll really enjoy this part.
But, well, we'll get to it in a second here. So what happens is they're having the service, the mom's going to be buried, and he found out, Lionel found out that if he puts tranquilizers in the zombies, that it'll keep them
rested for a while.
Yeah, rested for a while. So he put whatchamajooly?
Tranquilizer.
Yeah, Lionel went to go visit his girlfriend, Nikita, and the mom broke out of the house and went to the store to stop it all, and she came busted in the store, and he injected her with a needle full of tranquilizer, and she passed out. Nurse came, or no, people's like, she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
They got to bury her, so they have the service, and he's trying to get into the coffin to keep her rested a little longer until he can get her buried, and
she breaks out.
Yeah, she ends up breaking out and fighting him, and they come flying out of the service right as he stabs her and puts her out, and then he just...
So now it looks like he's just hugging a dead body, and everybody in the whole place is kind of like, holy fuck.
Freaked out.
And this is also where we meet his Uncle Liz. And his Uncle Liz is a pretty hilarious character. He's a really gross-looking guy. He kind of looks like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, but English. But he's got, like, sores on his face, and he's
also another one with herpes all over.
Yeah, and he's got, like, a thing that he breathes with instead. It's just fucked up.
He's, like, got a smoke in the side of the mouth, and then he's got, like, this oxygen thing in the other.
And so they bury her, and
that's Vera's brother-in-law.
Yeah, it's her brother-in-law.
Yeah, and he's just there to try and get some money in the house and whatever he can, because this chick is dead now.
Yeah.
And
this is where Lionel goes to the graveyard to go dig up his mom, because he wants to trank her again.
To keep her rested longer. Now, how much would that suck, man? Have to go there every night to...
I pretty much would just say, fuck it, someone else will deal with her.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so you know she's going to come back for you.
Well, how do you know that she's a zombie?
I guess. I'd move. I'd run away.
Yeah, I'd move too. That's exactly what I'd do.
But anyway, so they're at the graveyard, and he's trying to dig up his mom to tranquilize her, and these three greaser guys come up and be like, what do we got here? And grave digger, and they're like thinking he's just like trying to dig up dead bodies to do stuff with them, and so they start picking on him. Yeah, and the lead guy. The lead guy thinks it's a good idea to just start peeing on the grave, so he starts peeing, and Lionel's like, "That's my mother you're peeing on."
And then Vera's hand comes shooting out and grabs him by the dick and pulls him down and starts like just basically tearing, I think, his guts out from his dick.
Yeah, no, well, she ends up ripping his chest, like the skin right off. You see his rib cage and everything, and then his friends are like freaking out.
And that's when basically all the guys end up zombies. The priest comes. We don't know his name, but he's awesome, and he comes and just starts doing all these ninja moves all over these fucking zombies.
Yeah, just kicks the crap out of all of them.
Yeah, and hence why he kicks ass for the Lord.
Yeah.
And then Lionel ends up bringing them to his house, where the priest ends up a zombie too, because he ends up getting thrown onto this pointy gravestone.
Yeah, well, what happens is after all this ass kicking, and he knocks off the head of one of the zombies, and the head's going up, and he's standing there, he's like, yeah, I did good, and all of a sudden the head comes and lands on his shoulder and bites him, and he starts to freak out and sees another zombie, so he starts to run towards him and does a drop kick, and the zombie grabs his foot, swings him around, and that's when he lands on the statue with the pointed finger or whatever, and it's just right through his chest.
So Lionel brings them all to his house, and now he's feeding them tranquilizer and like porridge or something.
Yeah, because he cares about these ones. He's got connection with them. There's the mom, the nurse, the father,
Yeah.
and then the head greaser guy. The
Yeah.
other two greaser dudes just didn't make the
Yeah,
cut.
didn't make the cut at all.
He's
And
just
so-
like, fuck them.
So Uncle Liz comes to the door and Lionel leaves, but while he's going to talk to Liz, the priest zombie and the nurse zombie, Nurse McTavish is her name,
Yeah.
they end up having
Like
sex.
Yeah, they're just like
It's
they
really
they
messed
start
up.
hitting on each other and stuff.
It's zombie sex, which is interesting. But
And the one greaser dude is like sitting there at the table trying to eat, and Lionel's like, "Use your spoon," and he goes to use the spoon. He's like, and then he jabs it in his hand, and it comes out the back end. He's just like, and then the mom just grabs the food from the spoon and eats it, and he's just like freaking out like he's a little kid, just like.
But Liz basically comes and says that he wants to take the house and the money. Oh, he wants some of it.
Yeah, because
And,
the mom didn't have enough time to put him in the will.
And so Lionel, after Liz leaves, Lionel puts all the zombies in the basement, and that's where they have a zombie baby from the nurse has one.
Yeah, the birthing process for zombies is quite fast. It's literally in 2 hours you're popped.
Yeah,
the baby's out.
And it was pretty hot. But the baby is hilarious. Lionel finds the baby, and meanwhile, I don't know, Lionel finds the baby, and he's like trying to treat it like a baby, but he ends up just beating the shit out of it in the middle of a park.
Yeah, in front of all these people.
And this was like, even my
just,
mom loved this scene. Like, it was ridiculous.
Everyone was just looking at him like he was messed up.
Yeah, and then, so yeah, and so he goes home, and that's where Liz is standing there, and he's like, "Oh, you got a nice collection of stiffs in the basement."
Yeah.
And he says, he
They're
bribes
all
Lionel,
trying to-
blackmails him, and says, like,
I'm gonna call the police if you don't score me up with some cash. And Lionel's like, "You want the cash? You want the house? It's all yours."
Yeah. So he takes it, and then a party arrives.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a housewarming party for Uncle Liz.
Yeah,
And,
he throws a party, calls up all his friends.
And so Wakita shows up, noticing that there's a bunch of people there.
Yeah, she's on the date with
Roger,
because Lionel went to break up with her a final time, and he couldn't fix it up afterwards. So she started going out with this Roger guy, and she was walking by, and Roger was just a dull airhead jock dude. So she kind of bailed out the second she did. He was like, ended up talking to himself and was like,
she just
okay. I like how he kept his cool though. Like,
he was
she
just
was
like,
gone. He's just like
okay.
in his pocket. He's like, all right, I'll just keep going back to my glory days.
So basically, she finds all the bodies in the basement, and all the zombies, I guess I should say.
Yeah,
and they all
realizes what all the fortune was about.
And she says, like, this isn't your people, so he buries them, he tranks them all with, he thinks it's poison.
Yeah.
And then they have a bottle of poison.
Yeah.
Just
no
poison.
special kind, just poison.
Yeah, just poison. So they inject it with poison, all of them die, and they bury them. And they go upstairs, Liz and Lionel get into a tussle because Liz is being a dick to Wakita.
Yeah.
And so Lionel punches him, and then Liz throws him into the basement, and that's when he realizes that he injected the zombies with animal tranquilizers.
Yeah.
And that is also when all the zombies come alive.
Yeah, they're like super zombies now. They're all
Yeah.
popping out of the ground, and Lionel's like freaking out. He runs up, tries to get out. Someone opens the door and is like has a headache, looking for the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And Lionel's like screaming. He's like, "Dude, not so loud!"
Yeah.
And Lionel just pushes him, shuts the door, locks it, and all of a sudden the zombies come busting out and crush the guy with the hangover in half, and they just start ripping him apart. Like they actually rip out his rib cage. It was pretty sweet.
There's 3 scenes I want to take into account before we run out of time. There's a scene where all the zombies in the whole party rise up at once, and it was really
they all did
cool.
like, if you guys watch wrestling, Undertaker, his move where they sit up, it was everyone all at the same time.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then there was another scene where
where there was so much blood
the one
on
where
the ground.
Liz is chopping up all these zombies.
He's
with a
just
couple
like
meat cleavers, and he's just got a pile of dead bodies.
And lights up
right
a smoke, and he's like,
Yeah,
and then there's a part where there's so much blood on the floor that Lionel is trying to run away from the zombies, and he's just running in one spot, and all the zombies are just gaining up on him.
Yeah, and then basically the last thing I want to mention is the end scene where he whips out the
lawnmower. The famous
And it
lawnmower
was
that he
the
has to use every
best
day.
scene I've ever seen in any zombie movie to kill a zombie. He turns it on, lifts it up, and it's just blood's going everywhere, and he's just freaking out.
Yeah, and just going, and then once he realizes they're all dead, he's just still with the lawnmower on, just like walking in circles. But yes, I'm gonna give it a 9 lawnmowers out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 10 dump trucks full of blood out of 10. I liked it. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Sorry we couldn't get too in detail.